semi-final 2013. Interestingly, the two parties that are in direct competition in 3 of the 4 states refuse to call it that. Some experts believe that, strictly speaking, the connect between these elections and the big battle of 2014 is hazy at best. That apart, coming as they do a few months away from the Lok Sabha elections next year and having been fought on the development plank, these elections will give pollsters, pundits and political parties an indication of the mood of the nation. Good evening, I'm Mahrukh Inayat and we are a few hours away from counting day. A full panel here with me and we are asking that all-important question: how far will Sunday's results determine the outcome of 2014? That's the big question that we are asking here on the show as well. Before I go to my guest, for the BJP, its mascot and prime ministerial face, Narendra Modi, is being seen as central to the campaign of the party. While BJP President Rajnath Singh has said that this election will not be a statement on Narendra Modi, the results are expected to provide answers to the much talked about Modi factor. Will his popularity translate into votes?
Packed to capacity rallies sounding the battle cry for 2014.
दिल्ली में हमारी सरकार सोई हुई है और मैं नहीं मानता हूं 125 करोड़ देशवासियों के दिल की आग उन्हें जगा सकती है। वो ऐसी गहरी नींद में सोए हैं, लगता है 2014 में भी सोते ही रहेंगे।
Dominating the discourse in the run-up to the fight for Delhi.
मोदी मंच पे नहीं है, मोदी आपके दिलों में बैठा है।
As the countdown begins for the assembly poll results, Narendra Modi, the man who led BJP's campaign, will be judged over whether his popularity will monetize into votes. And if BJP sweeps 4 states as predicted by pollsters, many believe it will reinforce the Modi factor like never before.
Narendra Modi's presence, which was a very organized kind of presence in meetings that they had pre-arranged, that has spiked, that has really led to gain for the BJP in terms of votes, Narendra Modi's presence.
Well, Arun Jaitley said recently that the trouble with all these calculations saying we'll get 5% here and 10% here makes no sense. You've got to take a risk. You've got to put your faith in somebody and hope he can deliver a wave. That's the risk they've taken with Narendra Modi, and so far at least it seems to be working.
Ironically, just 3 months ago, Modi's rivals in BJP had wanted his elevation as the prime ministerial candidate delayed till the outcome of the assembly polls, lest it cast a shadow.
हम दूसरी मिट्टी की पैदावार है।
But 3 months seem like a long time as the party now credits Narendra Modi for its rising stock.
So the big question is, can the BJP credit its win to the Modi wave? Here are some facts. Modi clocked more hours than any other senior BJP leader, showing his readiness to face his first acid test. Not just that, clamour for Modi rallies grew, with party leaders seeking more time from him to campaign in states like Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Then, of course, the turnout at the rallies, which may have been contested by the Congress several times, but Modi addressed packed rallies in all the 4 states that he campaigned in. Well, also, Modi focused on 2014 battle, raising some national issues, even as he campaigned for assembly elections. And last but not the least, in intensity and aggression, Modi's campaign actually echoed the high-stakes pitch for New Delhi.
वो इंडोर के खिलाड़ी हैं, हम आउटडोर के खिलाड़ी हैं।
But did the Modi factor outweigh the undisputed sway of BJP's star chief ministers like Raman Singh and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who are formidable forces in their own right?
I don't think it will be attributable only to Narendra Modi, BJP's success, as the exit polls are showing. I would say that the BJP chief ministers, or let's say the BJP has allowed regional satraps to grow And today we are, whether we like it or not, at the state level in a presidential system.
Whether the BJP wins the elections this time riding the Modi tsunami or because of a mix of local issues, with the BJP linking their campaign to Modi's Delhi bid, the Congress can afford to dismiss or ignore the Modi factor at their own peril. With camera person Ashok Bhanot, this is Aditya Narayanan for Headlines Today.
And joining me this evening, Veer Sanghvi, senior journalist with me here in the studio. GVL Narsimha Rao, member of the BJP. Tehseen Poonawala, Youth for Congress, will be joining us in just a bit. Professor Anand Kumar, member of the Aam Aadmi Party. Sujit Bhalla, of course, our resident psephologist, and Professor Shiv Vishwanath, social scientist and also our in-house expert. Let me start with you, Mr. Rao. The BJP has said that this election is not going to be a statement on Narendra Modi. More specifically, Rajnath Singh has said that. So is Narendra Modi not a decisive factor in these elections?
In my opinion, I think this election is actually the result. The election is being fought at three different levels. Being an assembly election, I think there is some kind of incumbency that operates at the assembly level, at the constituency level. And there is also a state level incumbency, and there is a national incumbency in this election particularly. Generally in state elections, it is generally only the state level factors that dominate an election, but we have a very peculiar, very special situation today prevailing in the country where there is a national subtext to the state assembly elections, because we have parliamentary elections 5 months down the line. So he will be a factor as much as Rahul Gandhi. So this is at one level.
No, but that's drawing a comparison. I'm saying for tomorrow, if the BJP doesn't do well, is it going to be blamed on Narendra Modi, or will you look at regional factors and the regional leaders to do that?
No, as I told you, it operates at three different levels. To the extent the national factors are impinging on this election, I think Mr. Narendra Modi would be a huge factor, as much as Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. You cannot see them in isolation. Mr. Modi mainly is a counter to the national leadership of the Congress, not to the state leadership of the Congress.
So that's very convenient.
BJP does very well.
No, very convenient as far as the BJP.
Convenient. That's a reality. That's a reality.
So if the BJP doesn't do well, then Narendra Modi was looking at the larger picture. But if the BJP does well, then Narendra Modi would be taken as the reason. Veer Sanghvi, don't you think that when Rajnath Singh says that this election is not going to be a statement on Narendra Modi, he's trying to create a buffer in case the BJP doesn't do well? It's obviously not to encourage the BJP state leaders in this case.
I think broadly the position is, if the BJP does as well as the exit polls do, say then it's been a presidential election and Narendra Modi has won it. If the BJP does badly and the exit polls are wrong, then it's an aggregation of local factors, and how can you blame poor Narendra Modi? That is the official BJP position.
Also, Professor Shiv Vishwanath, I want to ask you, one of the questions being raised is that till now Narendra Modi has largely been an untouchable for various other regional allies, especially allies of the Congress party or regional players. If the showing of the BJP is good come tomorrow, is Narendra Modi going to be far more accessible in that sense, or perhaps even being looked at as not the untouchable, the political untouchable that he is?
First, I don't think Narendra Modi is untouchable. Second, as he becomes more and more powerful, as he becomes more and more successful, acceptability has to be taken for granted. In fact, it's very clear that the way he's being projected, he's being amplified stage by stage. This is not to deny the achievement of the chief ministers, but he's seen as a kind of successful icing on the local cake. In that sense, BJP is brilliant.
Okay, Sujit Bhalla, we've also seen in these elections an increase in the voter percentage, in the number of people who have come out to vote. We've also seen an increase in first-time voters. Many within the BJP and several experts are attributing it to the Modi effect.
Well, you know, in Delhi, they're attributing it to the Aam Aadmi effect. So everybody's got their explanation which fits their own political agenda or political preference. But I think, what you started off earlier with, that is absolutely correct. Let's, the political pundits will do what they do, which is to carve out a spin that best suits them. But if we are somewhat objective, let's be very clear. If the BJP does well, I think a part of it, a reasonable part of it, is likely to be because of Modi. If the BJP does badly, a part of it, a reasonable part of it, is because of Modi. And exactly the same symmetrical situation vis-a-vis Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. If the Congress does well, then we'll all say that, listen, some of it is clearly because of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. And if the Congress does badly, some of it, perhaps a reasonable part of it, is clearly because of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Let's not get carried away by the political pundits. This is the reality. This is how it should be looked at. Ex ante, that is today, and ex post, that is tomorrow.
Okay, let's look into the details, V. Sanghvi. There is also a fear within the BJP, one would say. Suppose, for instance, Shivraj Singh Chauhan wins, which is going to create history in that sense. Is there the possibility of new power centers being created within the BJP, and perhaps this not being attributed completely to the Modi factor then?
I think, Mark, it's too late for new power centers. I think the BJP has decided that Modi is the light on the candle stand or whatever, and they're going to go with him regardless of what happens. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is the disciplined, loyal soldier of the party. I doubt if he would stake a claim. But what I think you really touched on when you talked about the untouchability factor is the key. There are two battles that work over here. The first is the battle to win the election, which the BJP may not. The second is the battle to make Narendra Modi an acceptable prime ministerial candidate. 1 year ago, when we had discussions like this, we would say whether he'll get allies or not remains to be seen. Perhaps he's not acceptable. The more you talk about Modi as a potential prime minister, the more you talk about a Modi factor, the more you drum into the public consciousness that this man is the alternative. The untouchability factor that you talked about vanishes. The juggernaut gathers more steam. You begin to see him as the obvious alternative prime minister and much less of an ally repellent than you did a month ago or even a year ago when you thought he wasn't going to get any allies at all.
Interesting you say that, V. Sanghvi, because we're going to discuss the Rahul factor in just a bit, because in the special broadcast we're looking at not just the larger picture but also at the state picture. One state where Modi and the BJP are particularly keen on winning is the national capital and the state of Delhi. In 2011, both the Congress and the BJP were sitting smug. The Congress confident that despite a plethora of negative issues, Sheila Dikshit's development would help them tide over an image crisis. The BJP, on the other hand, convinced that anti-incumbency would help the Saffron party sail through. But a tsunami hit them, both in the face, knocking them off in November 2012. The Aam Aadmi Party.
2012 was a good year. Sheila Dikshit was busy dancing with rapper Yo-Yo Honey Singh. BJP was pretty certain their man Modi was the cure of all their troubles. He had won his Gujarat, now he would win Delhi for them. But then this happened.
देश की जनता जो है परेशान हो चुकी है और देश के आम आदमी, आम औरतों, आम बच्चों ने मिलकर तय किया है कि अब हम अपनी पार्टी खुद बनाएंगे.
As things stand, Delhi is poised to choose between status quo, the usual alternative, and the untried newbie with big promises and ambitious goals.
Let's take a quick look at how the main parties in the fray had fared in the last two elections. First, let's take a look at 2008 figures. The Congress had a clear majority with 43 seats. They got 40.31% of the vote share. The BJP tailing far behind at 23 seats. What's interesting though is that in terms of vote share, the BJP was quite close at 36.84%. The BSP also a pretty good showing, managing to bag 2 seats. They had absolutely no seats in the 2003 elections. The Congress did lose 4 seats between 2003 and 2008, and that's exactly what the BJP managed to capitalize on in 2008.
But what's really got everyone aflutter this time around is the record voter turnout. From just above 57% in 2008, the voter percentage jumped to 65.86%. What does that mean?
Now, what it indicates historically is that increases in turnout hurt the Congress incumbency more than they hurt the BJP incumbency.
The Aam Aadmi Party claims that the voter enthusiasm reflects not just the anti-government mood, but also mass mobilization in support of the Aam Aadmi Party. What they don't mention is that this mobilization could well be for the BJP too. The BJP, for its part, will be wondering whether the last-minute chief ministerial candidate musical chairs ended up denting their viability. For the Congress, the list of imponderables goes on. Right now, the main worry would be for Sheila Dikshit to retain her New Delhi constituency in the face of challenge from Kejriwal and Vijender Gupta.
Arvind Kejriwal will find that he's in an awkward situation. If the exit polls tell us anything, they tell us that Delhi is unclear. So the chances are he will not get an overall majority, he will not form a government. But equally, it suggests that nobody can form a government without some kind of tacit support from the Aam Aadmi Party.
All bets are off this time in Delhi. Never has Delhi been so uncertain about its results. But weighing heavy on everybody's minds is also a possibility that maybe in another couple of months the state may go to polls again, with a hung assembly a very real possibility this time. With camera person Subodh Saxena, this is Aditya Nandharayan for Headlines.